and for this video I will be discussing the 10th house, also known as the midheaven, the sign of Capricorn, and Saturn. So in my last video I talked about the 9th house and how in that house we look to the future and look to possibilities, a lot of optimism. Well, the 10th house is the next step after that, and it's also logically after the 9th, and this is where we in a way live up to what we planned or what we imagined the possibilities for in the 9th house. This is also the step after higher learning and education in the 9th house. And 10th house, like I said, this is where has to do with our profession, and it shows where one will work or in what area one will find work. And the 10th house has to do with the ages of about 45 to 50, and it's all about public recognition and you being on top of your game, all about profession, and all of that goes under the 10th house and the midheaven. And unlike the 6th house, which also talks about the ways in which we work, the 10th house is where we work. And it denotes what we do, or what our dreams are, in a way. The midheaven on a person's wheel is the very top part on a person's chart. So this is the highest elevated point on your chart. So it is how we also would like to be seen by others. Since this is part of the second part of the zodiac, this is also, the 10th house has a lot to do with others and how we are seen. This is kind of where we begin to really care exactly how we are seen by others professionally. Because on professional levels, we usually want to be seen as very poised, respectable. Respect is the way we want to be seen. And the 10th house, the opposite of the 10th house is the 4th. So, and in my video on the 4th house in Cancer, I talked about how the 4th house, to some people, concerns the mother or a different parental figure or archetype. The 10th is the other parental figure. So it's either mother or father. But it could be the father with this one, since the father is usually the one that goes out of the house. And then the 4th house is the home. The 10th house is the business. It's, the traditional breadwinner of a family, and also the traditional authoritarian. And this is how caring what public your public persona is so important in the 10th house, because it can be with your father, but it could also be with your mother. With your mother, one must live up to mother's expectations, or some stage mothers, living through their child, their own expectations and possibilities and dreams. Public identity, though, can also be with the mother. When we go out with our mother, and propriety, manners. She teaches you manners. So this could be either archetype, the mother or the father. But it is one, and it of course depends on the person themselves. And with the 10th house, this is where public views matter. And it's just the awareness of propriety, the awareness of manners, the awareness of kind of one's professional life. And also, the 10th house recognizes the needs of how one is seen by society and others. And this concept is very much like what the 10th house is related to, which is the sign Capricorn. And Capricorn is a cardinal feminine earth sign. And being an earth sign, it's interested in everything tangible, everything that can be seen. The sign Capricorn can, seeing is believing, or they won't believe something if it hasn't seen it itself. So they're very much doers. And the definition of this is I use. And for Capricorn symbols, the glyph is, Capricorn, the sign, is represented by a sea goat. It's related to Pan, the god, which was half man, half goat. But it's not half man, half goat, but it is a sea goat. And I'm not sure why it's a sea goat. No one's really sure of the origins of a sea goat. But the glyph symbolizes actually the horns of a goat and the tail of a fish. So it's half goat and half fish. But in Latin, Capricorn, or Capricornus, means a goat's horn. It's actually in the Capri is in the genitive form of a goat. So it's actually the horns of a goat. which is odd symbolism for this sign. And this is really probably one of the more curious signs, I believe. It's just a very strange, the word itself, the symbolism that it has, it's just a very, kind of an odd sign. And the color for this sign is indigo, or is in between violet or blue or indigo. And its musical note is A. And those who have strong placements in Capricorn, or their sun in Capricorn, can be very perseverant, very serious people. You know, they get down to work, and they're deliberate. When they do things, they're very particular about how they do it. Steady, capable, patient, reliable, consistent, and self-important. So this is a very respectable sign, and the personality of the sign is very respectable. But with it, they can also be perceived as slow, hypercritical, too serious, in fact, closed-minded or narrow-minded, and prideful. And so this sign can also be just very negative because it is too serious. So there may not be someone with it a lot in Capricorn may not be your most, your funniest friend, or your most out there, kind of Leo-like friend. Which also comes, and these negatives probably come from the planetary ruler of Capricorn, which is Saturn. Saturn, which was named for the god of agriculture, justice, and strength in Roman mythology. And Saturn's glyph is represented by a sickle, which denotes agriculture and the god of its namesake. And Saturn, the god Saturn, was also the father of many of the gods, which kind of plays with the idea of the father figure, father archetype in the sign of Capricorn. And this planet is really just the planet of concerns. It concerns itself with long-term planning. It's very serious. This planet, it creates, when with other planets, it creates solid foundations, but with this, it's seen as negative or difficult. This is a very difficult planet to have in aspects with other planets. Saturn is probably my least favorite planet, actually. Although I did get very interested into astrology during a Saturn square Saturn transit. So it does have its reasons, but it's also very authoritarian. Saturn is, being the father of many gods, is very authoritarian in agriculture, and Saturn in our chart can maybe open our eyes to harsh realities or make us realize harsh realities. So it can be very psychological in how it presents itself in an aspect of other planets or in certain placements in the chart. It's also about limitations and restrictions and conforming to, social structures. So it's kind of a square planet. But it definitely fits as a ruling planet for the 10th house in Capricorn. Because Saturn, it incorporates all the things in the 10th house in Capricorn and vice versa. And it can be difficult but serious. Subjects must be dealt with, and we all have this planet together. So sometimes what others think and others' judgments do have its place. And that does help us to grow. So it is an important planet. And all of this is important, and it's maybe negative. Maybe the Saturn isn't the best planet to have an aspect, but it does help us mature and help us to live full lives. And we are human. So with that, that concludes 10th house and Saturn and Capricorn. So thank you for watching, and look out for my next video, which will be on the 11th house, Aquarius and Uranus.